President Trump talking tough on the border, threatening to shut it down. Joining us now, former Reagan economist Art Laffer. All right, Art, I don't know whether it's... Let's speculate for a second. Supposing it's a total shutdown, nothing goes across that border. What would that do to our economy?
Well, that will hurt it a lot. I mean, It really will. I mean, trade is really beneficial to both sides. I mean, we buy products from them that they produce more efficiently than we do. We sell products to them that we produce more efficiently than they do. It's a win-win, gains from trade, you know, all of that, David Ricardo. So it will hurt the U.S. economy. I haven't looked at it carefully, Stuart, to figure out how much that damage will be. But, you know, it's the price that President Trump believes is worth it to stop this influx of illegal immigrants into the U.S., and that's his call, not mine. But stopping trade will hurt the U.S. economy.
Okay. The President and Larry Kudlow and Stephen Moore may be going on to the Federal Reserve Board. All of them want to cut rates, I think, by about a half percentage point, lower interest rates by a half percentage point. Do we need a rate cut like that right now?
Well, we've already had a very major rate cut, Stuart. If you've noticed what's happening to the 10-year bond yield, to the short-term rates, all of those rates have come down quite substantially. And my view is I think Powell has accommodated the president's wishes. He was going to raise rates several times. He stopped doing that. I think Powell is reflecting the president's desires on that. And I think if we just keep rates where they are for a while, I think we'll be okay. You know, who am I to disagree with Larry Kudlow, though? He's a great economist, and he's Trump's top economist, and he's really good. So
perhaps there's an element of politics here. I mean,
the
president does not want any kind of
slowdown.
The president doesn't want any kind of slowdown, and certainly not a recession before the 2020 elections.
Let me tell you, I don't either. I do not want to slow down. I mean, the question is, I think keeping rates from rising would be, for at least for the near term, would be enough to keep this growth going. But, you know, they may be right. We may need a little rate reduction there to get it going. But I think patience right now is great.
What kind of growth do we have at the moment? I think the first quarter, the first 3 months of the year, we're going to be pretty weak, maybe less than 2%. What are we going to get for the rest of the year?
Well, you know, you've got two things going on, Stuart. You've got the rest of the world coming way down, which does hurt our economy. As you mentioned, the exports to Mexico and imports from Mexico, blocking that would hurt the U.S. economy. You know, if the rest of the world is not doing well, that does hurt us. Our exports are down. Our imports are up because they're competing here. So that does pull us down. We're part of a world community. I mean, that's very true. But then if you look at the other side of it, I mean, we've had the best policies of any country in the world by far. We're the shining city on the hill, as my favorite president said, Ronald Reagan. Trump's done a great job on good economic policies, and we've got the tax cuts, deregulation, sound money. We have all of this coming in. So I think the long-term prospects for the U.S. is we should be at a long-term rate of about 3% growth, I believe, and I think that's going to be awfully good for the U.S. economy. And ultimately, the world will pick back up out of it. And when that happens, I think the U.S. growth accelerates quite substantially.
Well, that's a very nice forecast, Art, and you're on videotape saying it. Not bad at all.
Please, right now, you can't use that ever against me, Stuart, can you? I mean, I don't ever see you pull back all of my old quotes where I said we're going to have a boom with Trump and all that. I'm just teasing you. Just teasing.
I'm on notice.
You'll pick the one time I was wrong. No, I'm just joking. It's like Ashley when I told him about moving from Tennessee to New York. I mean, I'm going to remember that and pick on Ashley forever for doing that.
And you were right.
Poor guy.
You were right.
All right.
But you've been right all along, Ashley, and everything else. It's just one mistake, and what do? They pile on. It's like what they're doing with Steve Moore, by the way.
Flattery.
It's exactly that. Steve Moore is one of the most expressive people in the world, and they take one sentence out of context, and then they pile on him. It's just not fair, but what can I say?
Not much more. Time's up. Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you very much, sir.
My pleasure.